Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome back to the part 2 of lecture number 23 and 24, Global Business Management. And I was discussing issues related to production, localization, and technological factors. Basically, any organization have to consider three aspects when a firm is going to decide about either they want to establish their production facilities outside the organization or localization की तरफ वो जाना चाहेंगे. So let's give a little recap about technological factor. Today, in dynamic environment, business environment, the flexibility of technology itself can be a nightmare or a blessing if it's not properly executed and managed by the firms. And objectives of induction of technology in manufacturing is to reduce the setup time for complex equipment manufacturing and assembly, and at the same time, utilization of individual machines through better scheduling. For that, we have to establish scheduling mechanisms and processes which will ensure the optimum utilization of the equipment at hand. And lastly, of course, machine will improve the overall quality control at all stages of manufacturing processes. For example, take the example of any automobile manufacturer or mobile phone manufacturer who are dealing with complex systems to ensure a quality finished product. They have to establish control checks at every stage of development of the products. Flexible manufacturing technologies enable firms to produce a wide variety of end products at a unit cost that traditionally would not require mass production of standardized output. Simply put, यहाँ पे concern सिर्फ ये है कि ये जो machines हैं, ये systems को, processes को optimize कर देते हैं. At the end of the day, still incorporate करने वाली जो workforce है that is assumed to be highly skilled and a master of their craft, because machine itself cannot produce a function or any unit. And then mass customization is possible through utilization of technology and advanced machinery and systems available in the market. How a firm may be able to customize its product range to suit the needs of different consumer groups bearing a cost penalty without bearing a cost penalty. So a cost penalty will be when a consumer producer is producing products for different consumer market segments in different parts of the world. So they have to reduce that cost penalty. Cost penalty can be explained like a repetition of the manufacturing process or elimination of defective products from the system. Machine cells, that is group of various types of machines, a common material handler and a centralized cell control or another common flexible manufacturing technologies, and adaptation of these by adopting these flexible manufacturing technologies can help the firm to customize the products to provide the different variants by utilizing the same machinery of the market offering. The objective is to meet the demands of small customer groups in different national markets, not only in domestic market but international markets as well. So the firm can act like a local firm without bearing the cost of establishing local manufacturing facilities across their entire market system. When does it make sense to concentrate production at a few choice locations? If a firm is deciding to go for 4, 5, or 6, or even 3 different locations of for manufacturing processes, concentrated production makes sense when fixed costs are substantial. As we recall that cost of a product is a function of 2 variables, that is fixed cost and variable cost. And उसकी बेस पे अगर आपकी fixed cost includes rentals, factory machinery, utilities, even if you are not producing a single unit of product, and yet you have to incur those costs. So if those fixed costs are substantial in number, then you are going towards a concentrated production. Or when the minimum effect scale of production is high, and then flexible manufacturing technologies are available in the market. And second point, when you have to decide either you're going for concentrated production or at a few locations, concentrated production does not make sense when both fixed cost and the minimum efficient scale of production are relatively low. Then you are going towards a few locations instead of concentrated production facilities. And it will not be appropriate to go for concentrated production facilities if appropriate flexible manufacturing technologies are not available. Then you are not going to concentrate your manufacturing facilities. Product factor, two product factors impact location the weight ratio. If the value to weight ratio is high, produce the product in a single location and export it. And if the value to weight ratio is low, manufacture the products in multiple locations across the world. Second point with reference to product is whether the product serves universal needs. This is the concern which a firm has to understand and try to implement it. The need for local responsiveness is reduced for products that do, which increase the attractiveness of concentrated manufacturing. So if the target audience which you are serving your products is not considerate about specific region-wise taste and preferences, then you can go for concentrated manufacturing. Location production facilities, there are two basic strategies for locating manufacturing facilities. One is concentrating them in the optimal location and serving the world market from there. This concentration decision is have to take in consideration multiple factors such as availability of raw material, then access to the utilities and special perks and benefits offered by the host countries' governments. Then it will make sense to go for concentrated production facilities. The core objective is that facility locations should be located near to the availability of raw materials in abundance, and then decentralizing them in various regional or national locations that are close to major market. The second consideration for any firm is to consider the locations where it is easy to access the major consumer markets. Then these are the two factors for which will encourage local production facilities in foreign markets or in even a home country. Now, if a firm is in process of deciding they're going for localization strategy or concentration strategy, and if your firm has decided to go for location strategy and production, then you have to consider the country factors such as different political economy. If you are going for concentrated production, favored substantial होगा, एंड अगर आप डिसेंट्रलाइज की तरफ जा रहे हो तो फिर उसके अंदर आपके पास डिफरेंस इन पॉलिटिकल इकोनॉमी कम होगा. नाउ लेट मी गिव यू अ recap of political economy of any country. Political economy is basically a combination of three factors, that is political, economic, and legal system of any country. So if there is a huge difference between these three elements of political economy of two countries, then you are going towards concentrated production facilities. And if this difference is not as substantial between the two countries, then you are going towards centralized production facilities. And culture wise, customer is the key element of any marketing firm's activities or production activities. So we have to consider the difference between the culture of consumption of consumers with reference to the taste and preferences, liking, disliking, and the purchasing power of the country. So if the difference in culture is substantial, you will go towards concentrated production decision. And if again culture and differences few, then you can go towards decentralized production facilities. Factors, costs are if high, then you have to go towards concentrated production, or if they are low, then you have to go towards decentralized production. Location externalities, such as important in industry. If that is the concern for any organization, then they have to go towards concentrated production. And if location externalities is such as external factors which will influence your production performance in any country, then you're not going towards centralized. Then you are going towards decentralized production facilities. If you are going towards technological factors, if the very fixed cost of manufacturing of units or product is high, then you have to go towards concentrated production. And if the fixed cost is low, then you can opt for decentralized or localized productions. Minimum efficient scales. If there is high in consideration, you have to go towards concentrated production, or if it is low, then you have to go towards decentralized production. Product factors, if value to weight ratio is high, you have to go towards concentrated production, and if it's low, then you have to go towards decentralized. And if universal needs are being served, you have to go towards concentrated production decision. And if universal needs are not satisfied through your product offering, then you can opt for decentralized production offers. Uh, what is the strategic role of foreign factories for your organization, for your business, or your MLE? The strategic role of foreign factories and the strategic advantage of a particular location can change over time. It's not going to be stagnant over the period of time. Either it will benefit your organization in long term or short term, or maybe it will backfire for your organization with reference to time. A factory initially established to make a standardized product to serve a local market or to take advantage of low-cost inputs can evolve into a facility with advanced design capabilities. Or at the same time, as governmental regulations change and our countries upgrade the factories of production, the strategic advantage of a particular location can change as well. As the strategic role of factory is to upgrade, and a firm develops center of excellence in different locations worldwide, it supports the development of transactional strategy. And that will be a focus of transactional strategy is global learning. Idea behind foreign factories establishment is to learn about different business practices, understandings, and other aspects of an organizational development process through learning. The idea that valuable knowledge does not reside just within a firm's domestic operations, it may also be found in its foreign subsidiaries. Now, here idea is that knowledge of product development, creation, R&D is not only limited to the host country's centralized headquarters, but rather it is dispersed across the geographic footprint of an organization. So managers should promote the idea that factories are potential centers of excellence with strategic importance to the firm. So here, manager being the bridge between the top tier management and the workforce, their understanding should be developed as that these are foreign factory outlets are a source of learning as well, not only a production facility. So now you are at the point where you have to decide either you have to make or buy the product yourselves. That is the decision you have to take. Should an organization, international business, make the component parts to go into their final product or outsource them? Since it is evident that Apple is most of the time outsourcing and they're in process of buying the components from different suppliers, such as example can include likewise the displays of their Apple products is manufactured by Samsung, so they have outsourced their displays or screens of their system units to the Samsung company. So that is basically a buying decision for them instead of making the screens and for their products. Make or buy decision about whether to perform a certain value creation activity in-house or outsources to another firm or important to a firm's manufacturing strategy. जब आप खुद हर कंपोनेंट बनाना शुरू करोगे तो उसके ऊपर ऑफ कोर्स आपके पास लिमिटेशंस आ जाएंगी विद रेफरेंस टू नॉलेज, टेक्नोलॉजी, इम्प्लीमेंटेशन. बट अगर आप कंपोनेंट्स आउटसोर्स करते हो और एक किस्म का असेंबली की प्रोसेस की तरफ आते हो, दैट इज गोइंग टू बी more lucrative for your business and firm. If you have decided to go for to make all the components of your product like making within the organization, that will be known as vertical integration, and it will be attractive because it is associated with lowering the cost of your products you are offering to the consumers. At the same time, facilitates investment in highly specialized assets of your organization and protects property technology. In the process of R&D of your products, you are going to discover new technologies, new processes, new aspects of your product. So that can be translated into strategic asset for your organization. And lastly, it facilitates the scheduling of adjacent processes. How a firm can, if a firm has decided to manufacture or make all the components of the finished product, it's going to help you to lower the cost. Manufacturing a part in-house, if the firm is more efficient at the production activity than any other enterprise. So here the question is that if you have decided to make all the components, you have to be efficient. And let me recall again what we mean by efficiency. That is the optimum utilization of minimum resources with understanding of maximizing the output that should be quality oriented. And that can be specialized in through facilitating specialized investment. In-house production makes sense when substantial investments in specialized assets, such as assets whose value is contingent upon a particular relationship persisting are required to manufacturing a component, or if the objective of your firm is to protect proprietary intellectual technology which you have developed and created within your in-house production facilities, and you want to maintain a control over the technology you have developed, so you are going to make the components and products for within the house. And at the same time, last aspect of advantage of make decision will be to improve scheduling. That is, in-house production can make planning, coordination, and scheduling of the relevant and secondary processes easier for a firm. Excuse me. Okay, I will stop here the part 2 of for this lecture series, and we'll meet you people in the next section of this lecture series. Till then, Allah Hafiz.